Check out FlipsideGaming.com for all your gaming needs. Use the promo code HEROES to save 10% on all orders over $10. From February 4th through the 29th, if you use this promo code, you will automatically be entered into a drawing to win a box of Magic the Gathering Unsanctioned. Also, there is another way to enter where no purchase is necessary. See the link in the description below for full details. Hey there, this is John from Heroes and Legends, and welcome to another edition of the Magic the Gathering Market Watch. We're going to go into all aspects of the secondary market as we do every weekend, see which cards are hot, which cards are cold. Last week, it was all about Standard, a lot of cards jumping in value from that format. The weeks previously, a lot of Pioneer cards were moving. This week, Commander is really the main driver for card prices going up. We'll talk about why in today's video, but a quick reminder first, if you go to FlipsideGaming.com, you can use the Heroes promo code. Save 10% on orders over $10. And if you were on the site last week, you might have noticed they had mystery booster boxes for pre-order at a pretty good price. They came to $99 if you use the promo code. However, they are out of stock currently at time of recording. If they do restock though, I will let you know in the comments below. I had a lot of people asking about it over the last few days. Without any further ado though, let's get into it. We're going to begin as we always do as Standard. Today we're looking at the top 9 Standard legal cards that have lost value this week. Number 9 is Vivien Arkbow Ranger, now 91 cents to 11.31. This card just isn't seeing a whole lot of Standard play at this point. I felt like going into the season that perhaps it would see play in a couple different decks. However, the meta didn't really go in that direction. Now, when it comes to Pioneer, it is still seeing some play, although less play than it was seeing. It can still show up in Golgari Stompy, Golgari Scales, and more decks there. Sees a little Modern play too, but unless something changes, this is going to lose a lot more value. Number 8 is Brazen Borrower, down $1.03 to 24.40, not because this card isn't seeing a lot of play. I mean, you probably have seen this in a lot of decks across different formats. In Standard, some Azorius Control builds run it. Sometimes it's in Jeskai Fires. It's in Temur Reclamation. In Pioneer, it's in Spirits builds, which are very popular. It's also in Izzet and Soul. Sees Modern, Legacy, and even some Vintage play. But the reason it's going down this week is because a few days ago we found out the deck list for the 2020 Challenger decks, and there's one called Flash of Ferocity. And guess what? There's one copy of this in there. It's not technically a reprint. The card will look exactly the same as the copy you see on the screen. However, it does mean the marketplace will see additional copies. Number 7, Ashiok Nightmare Muse. This goes down $1.13 to 11.51. And yeah, a lot of packs are being opened of Theros Beyond Death. A lot of collector boosters are being opened. That could be part of the reason this is going down. But I think the big reason for this card is it just hasn't really performed to expectations. Sometimes a copy of this will be in Sultai midrange. Occasionally there's one in a Pioneer Sultai inverter build in the side. But ultimately, the card's not seeing a lot of play right now. Number 6, Korvold, Faker's King, down $1.21 to 12.49. This is the non-foil copy that you would find in collector boosters as opposed to the foil that's in the Brawl decks. But one of the big reasons this card has become soft is because the Brawl deck started to get out there in people's hands, circulation improved, and there's a lot more of at least the foil copies out there. Now, this has seen Standard play. It's in Jund Sacrifice, and those decks can still do very well in the format. However, when it comes to Pioneer, the Jund Sacrifice deck there feels like it's kind of falling off a little bit. You're not seeing a lot of people playing it anymore. The meta has kind of shifted away from it. It is a popular Commander and Brawl card, though, too, so I do think it's going to lose a little more value before it stabilizes, but especially because of Commander, I wouldn't expect this to completely bottom out. Number 5 is Vraska, Golgari Queen. This goes down $1.29 to 11.20. Now, this is seeing a little Standard play in Sacrifice builds. It is seeing far less Pioneer play as well as Modern play because Oko left those formats. While Oko is around, this was actually showing up quite a bit because it was a good foil to that card. But there is another reason it is going down in value, and that is because this is another card that is going to be in a 2020 Challenger deck. One copy of this is in Final Adventure. Number 4 is Absorb. This is the original one though from Invasion. It goes down $1.39 to $11.70. Some of this is normalization because this card did spike recently. Still seeing plenty of play when it comes to Standard. That Azorius Control deck is incredibly popular. It did win the Magic World Championship last weekend, as a matter of fact. Also, this is seeing play in Pioneer Azorius Control builds too. Number 3 is Athreos, Shroud Veiled. It goes down $1.44 to $5.98. Now, this is not the buy box promo copy. This is the non-foil that you might find in collector boosters. Now, this is seeing some Commander play, but the reason it's going down in value is because more copies are getting into people's hands. I do think this is going to lose more value before it does finally stabilize. Number 2, Idyllic Tutor. This is the Morningtide copy. It goes down $2.76 to $20.21. Obviously, this is soft because it was just reprinted at Rare and Theros Beyond Death. Sometimes this is in Pioneer Fires builds. Also, this is a good Commander or Brawl card now for enchantment-heavy decks. Number 1 is Embercleave, down $3.47 to $21.24. This card spiked pretty heavily last week because of the play it was seeing in the World Championship. You'll find this in Mono Red Aggro. Also sees play in Gruul and Rakdos aggro decks, which are kicking around Standard 2. In Pioneer, this is in Mono Red Aggro, also in Gruul aggro. Sees Brawl and Commander play many times alongside Sir Gwen, Hero of Ashval. However, there's a reason that this is going down this week, and it's not just normalization off a big spike, which might be part of it, but this is also in one of the Challenger decks for 2020. You'll find one copy of this in Cavalcade Charge. Okay, on to the top 5 standard legal cards that have gained value this week. Number 5, not really a huge standard card, but a good Commander card, Divine Visitation. It goes up 59 cents to $10.51. This has seen increased play recently with Alila, Artful Provocateur. Number 4, Croaks the Titan of Death's Hunger, up $1.01 to $10. You'll find this in Rakdos and Jund Sacrifice. This is even seeing a little modern play now, and it continues to show up in Brawl and Commander decks. Number 3, Hydroid Crisis, up $1.21 to $21.84. This got screen time last weekend at that Magic Championship tournament in those Temur Reclamation builds. This also shows up in Simic Ramp and Sultai Midrange, as well as other decks in the standard format. In Pioneer, this is in Mono Green Ramp, and it continues to see a little modern play too. Number 2, Uro, Titan of Nature's Wrath, up $1.59 to $41.43. Another card you'll find in Temur Reclamation in Standard, and some other decks in that format too. In Pioneer, it's in a really big deck right now, Sultai Delirium, also found in Nivta Light, Sultai Inverter, and other builds in the format. Sees a lot of modern play too, great Brawl and Commander card as well. Although, I would expect this price to normalize and start to come down pretty soon. It has a pretty high price point considering all the packs that are being opened currently. Number 1 is Breeding Pool. Wow, check this out. Ravnica Allegiance up 70 cents to $22.16. Gatecrash up $1.03 to $21.67. Dissension up $3 to $31.99. In Standard, you're going to find this in Temur Reclamation and some other decks there. But really, the reason this is moving this much this week is because of Pioneer. It's in some huge decks there. Banned Spirits, Sultai Delirium, and Lotus Breach are all very popular right now. This can be found in other builds too, like Sultai Inverter, Simic Ramp, and more. Also sees plenty of modern play, including a real big deck there, Amulet Titan. Okay, on to the world of Pioneer with the top 5 Pioneer legal cards that have lost value this week. Number 5 is Walking Ballista. It goes down 66 cents to $26.39. Still seeing a lot of play because it combos with Heliod Sun Crowned, but ever since that card came out, this got very hot, started to spike pretty aggressively, and because of that now you're seeing a little bit of a normalization week. In Pioneer, this is in Sultai Delirium, Mono White Heliod. In Modern, you'll find this in Tron builds as well as Heliod Company and more there. This card is in Legacy and Vintage too, and has seen some increased Commander play recently with Heliod Sun Crowned, of course, but also even with Emery Lurker of the Loch. Number 4, Thassa, God of the Sea, down 68 cents to $20.57. A couple of reasons for this. One, the card has not performed to expectations in Pioneer. A lot of people thought that this would be a fantastic card in mono blue decks or even Azorius Devotion decks. Just didn't quite get there, at least not yet. Another reason, though, this is losing value is because we found out it's being reprinted in a Secret Lair drop. Theros Stargazing Volumes 1 through 5 reprint all the original Theros Black Gods, including this one. Number 3 is Selfless Spirit, down 80 cents to $12.06. This is coming off another big spike that we saw last week, and it's still performing really, really well. Spirit's decks look amazing right now in the format. This is also in White Devotion Company builds. In Modern, you'll find this, of course, in Spirit builds, as well as Heliod Company there. And sometimes this even shows up in the sideboard of Humans and some other decks in the format, too. Number 2 is Sliver Hive Lord from Magic 2015. It goes down 90 cents to $30.41. This is a card that is reprinted in the Mystery Boosters, and initially that led to the card losing value, but then they reprinted Sliver Overlord in one of the Secret Lairs, Kaleidoscope Killers, and that led to a lot of folks trying to build some Sliver Commander decks, and this card got hot again. Now it is beginning to stabilize down as we move closer to the release of the Mystery Boosters for WPN stores. Number 1, Sylvan Caryatid, down 95 cents to $10. Another card that has been increasing in price rather rapidly, so not too surprising to see this go down this week. However, there's a little more to it. The big decks that this is in the Pioneer format are Nivta Light as well as Sultai Inverter, and they both saw less play this week. This does see a little modern play though too, so keep that in mind. Alright, on to the top 6 Pioneer legal cards that have gained value this week. Number 6, Thoughtseize, up 93 cents to 36.48. This is the one from Iconic Masters, seeing a ton of play in Pioneer right now. Sultai Delirium, Dimir Inverter, Mono Black Aggro, sometimes Niv to Light as well, and other decks in the format. And as you know, this sees a ton of Modern and Legacy play too. Number 5, Urborg, Tomb of Yawgmoth. This is the one from Ultimate Masters. It goes up 99 cents to 22.48 this week. And you'll find this in Dimir Inverter, Mono Black Aggro, Mono Black Vampires, Orzhov Midrange, and more in the Pioneer format. In Modern, this is in Golgari Yawgmoth, which has been pretty popular. Also can be found in other decks there too, sees Legacy play, and it's a huge Commander card. Number 4, Archangel of Thune from Iconic Masters, up 99 cents as well to 24.48. This is in Mono White Life Gain, and has seen increased Commander play with Heliod Sun Crowned. Number 3, Gideon of the Trials, up $1.50 to $11.50. This has become a huge Pioneer card in a lot of builds right now. Mono White Devotion, Azorius Control, SRAM Auras, Azorius Spirits, White Devotion Company, and more. Number 2, Emrakul, The Promised End, goes up $1.56 to $33.94. Part of that Sultai Delirium deck, which has been very popular this week. Also in Mono Green Ramp, Simic Ramp, and this is in Modern Tron builds and Legacy Post builds too. Number 1, Cyclonic Rift, the 2 copies moving the most this week, Modern Masters 2017, up 93 cents to 22.16. Commander 2014, a little bit harder to find, up 222 to 23.39. So this is seeing less Pioneer play than it was seeing, still sees a tad bit of Modern play. This is a huge Commander card though, one of the biggest out there. And the reason it's getting hot right now is because the Command Zone podcast did a video this week on their favorite Commander cards. It was a very popular video and brought a lot of eyes to a number of different cards. This is not the last card from that video we're going to see today. Alright, on to Modern and your top 7 Modern legal cards that have lost value this week. As we talk every week, the Modern format has been pretty slow. Ever since Pioneer debuted, a lot of people have been trying that format out. Also, having Oko in the Modern format for as long as that card was there definitely encouraged many players to bail during that time. With Oko gone, I have seen signs of people coming back, and I do think that the Modern format will gain strength in the coming weeks and months, but at least right now it's going to continue to stay soft. Remember too, there's a lot of reprints coming out from a lot of different products, and that does make players a little nervous about picking up expensive cards that you might find in the Modern format. Number 7 is Tarmogoyf. This is the one from Modern Masters. It goes down $1.22 to 46.09. This is seeing play in Jund, 4-color Death Shadow, Infect, and more in the format. Sees Legacy and Vintage play too, but it just goes to show you how slow those formats are currently. Number 6 is Chalice of the Void. This is the one from Modern Masters. It goes down $1.42 to 47.96. So this is another card like the last one that is seeing more play now that Oko has left the format, but this one in particular is not seeing the same amount of play that it was seeing a number of months ago because the meta has shifted quite a bit since then. You will find this in Tron builds. It sees Legacy play, and even though it is restricted in Vintage, it still sees a fair amount of play there too. Number 5 is Dark Confidant, the original from Ravnica City of Guilds. It goes down $1.46 to 49.49. So you might look at this and say, okay, another one of the Modern staples going down in value, but another copy of this card is going up, which we're going to see later in the video. This is in Jund, Orzhov Blade, other decks in the format, also sees Legacy play, and it sees some Commander play. The reason I bring that up is because you'll find this sometimes in competitive Commander decks like Sushi Hulk. Sushi Hulk has been wildly popular ever since Thassa's Oracle came out not too long ago. A lot of folks are trying to build that deck. That alone might start to stabilize this card very quickly. Number 4 is Snapcaster Mage. This is the one from Ultimate Masters, down $1.55 to 48.24. This is another big Modern card that's a little soft this week. You're going to find it in Bant Snowblade, Azorius Control, Grixis Death Shadow, and more. Also sees play in Legacy and Vintage, and it's a good Commander card too. Number 3 is Wooded Foothills. This is the one from Onslaught, the original, down $1.89 to 32.56. Some of these Onslaught fetch lands are getting a little soft this week. You're going to see another one in just a second. This one, though, I mean, it sees a ton of play in the format. Amulet Titan, which is extremely popular, Jund, Dredge, Burn, Infect, and more. Sees Legacy play too. Again, it just kind of shows you where we are right now. Number 2, there's another one, Bloodstained Mire from Onslaught. It goes down $1.96 to 39.04. Again, it sees a lot of play. Jund, Dredge, Death Shadow builds, Burn, and more. Also sees Legacy play as well. Number 1, there he is, Jace the Mind Sculptor, Masters 25, down $1.28 to an even $100. Eternal Masters down $1.47 to 98.48. World Wake, the original, down 804 to 101.46. Wow, okay, this is the cheapest I've seen this card in a long time. What is happening? Well, still seeing modern play, Zori's Control, Banned Snowblade, Banned Blade, and more. Sees Legacy and Vintage play too. We're entering a new era of Magic the Gathering when it comes to these price points, I think. Here's a card that is not on the reserve list. It's been reprinted a couple times, even if it is in master sets. There's a lot of copies out there in circulation. The reason this was a card that would fetch $120, $140 for a long time was the modern format. A lot of modern players have moved on to Pioneer. A lot of players are just playing Commander nowadays. So on top of that, consider all the new products coming out. You have Secret Layers hitting all the time. You have Mystery Boosters bringing these foil cards. We don't know what most of them are. Plus, there's a whole bunch of other products coming. Yeah, this could very well see a reprint sooner than later. Because of that, these cards aren't going to hold the price point that they used to hold, and I think we're going to see more of this in the future as well. Okay, on to the top 5 modern legal cards that have gained value this week, and most of these are actually Commander cards. Very difficult right now to find cards that are played in Modern going up in value. Number 5 is Kozilek Butcher of Truth from Ultimate Masters. It goes up $1.96 to $31.75. This sees a little legacy play in Mono Green Post. But again, this is a card moving more because of Commander this week and has seen increased play with Atla Palani Nest Tender and Nyx Bloom Ancient recently. Number 4 is Craterhoof Behemoth, Modern Masters 2017 up $255 to $42.79. Avacyn Restored up $283 to $42.83. This does see play in Legacy Elves builds, but the main reason, again, this is moving is Commander. This is a huge Commander card, and there's been more attention on it recently because of the reprinting of Reese the Redeemed and Mystery Boosters. Number 3, Exquisite Blood up $308 to $32.90. Another good Commander card here, very popular in Carrick Son of Yawgmoth builds. Also, a lot of players like to combo this with Sanguine Bond. Number 2, guess what? It's a Modern card, Liliana the Veil from Modern Masters 2017. It goes up $378 to $63.82. Okay, this is interesting because we saw a lot of cards earlier that were seeing more play since Oko left that were going down in value. This one happens to be going up. Jund decks will play this, Orzhov Blade, and more. Sees Legacy play as well. Number 1, back to Commander with Swarmyard. It goes up $644 to $20.74. Alright, time for everybody's favorite game. Was it a natural buyout or was it a targeted buyout? Well, I don't know. Maybe it was a targeted buyout. Maybe it was natural. The reason this card has been more sought after is because of the Year of the Rat drop. Obviously, this is going to play very well in Commander Rat decks. Also, some casual players might be interested in this because of the squirrels coming in unsanctioned. But ultimately, at any given time, there might not be a lot of copies of this in good condition in the online marketplace. Someone could have taken advantage of that and tried to buy them all out, or it could have been the extra interest caused them to dry up naturally. Okay, on to the Vintage Spotlight. This is where we talk about cards that see play in Legacy, Vintage, 93, 94, or cards that are just popular among collectors. First is Mana Drain from Iconic Masters. It goes up $229 this week to $120. This card has been pretty hot. I would expect it to settle down, maybe stabilize a little bit to a lower price in the coming weeks. But this is a huge Commander card, and it's a big competitive Commander card. Now, granted, this could show up in a lot of different competitive Commander decks, but the one right now that's driving prices more than any of them is Sushi Hulk. Alright, Demonic Tutor Revised goes up $1.24 to $32.91. Dual Decks Anthology up $1.66 to $36.40. Dual Decks Divine vs. Demonic up $3.13 to $38.58. There's a lot going on with this card right now. First off, it did get a Mystery Booster reprint, which you would think, okay, more copies have come out, more copies are coming when those things hit stores, but it's still going up in value. Why is that? Well, first off, tutors are very popular in Commander, especially competitive Commander, and this is one that you might find in that Sushi Hulk deck, which a lot of people are trying to assemble, but there's more to it than just that this week. This was also one of the Command Zone's favorite cards in that video I mentioned earlier, and the professor mentioned this in a video this week as well. So with the extra attention on the card, these copies are moving quite a bit this week. Next we have Badlands from Revised. This is on the reserve list being a dual land. It goes up $4.53 this week to $209. Another reserve list card here with Grim Monolith up $4.68 to $133.65. This is in Legacy, Eldrazi Post decks, and more in the format. But this is also a big Commander card. Combos with Power Artifact, which is another card you're going to see later in the video. Volcanic Island from Revised on the reserve list. It goes up $5.02 to $452.49. Lord of the Pit from Unlimited goes up $11.89 this week to $38.97. Pretty big percentage jump here. And I wanted to point it out because for a long time we saw a number of Unlimited cards jumping every week. It has been quiet recently, but maybe this is an indication that we might see some of that again. Here's another card that's in mystery boosters, but it don't care. Mana Crypt still going up. The media promo, the original book giveaway, it goes up 1968 to 263.95. The Eternal Masters copy up 27.51 to 233.78. This is a great vintage card, a huge commander card. And yes, you might find this in competitive commander decks like Sushi Hulk. Savannah on the reserve list, revised up 260 to 148.65. Unlimited up 49.98 to 499.95. So that unlimited copy, there's not a lot of copies that necessarily sell every week when you look at the online marketplace. And because of that, the big websites have to kind of fall back to what people are asking as opposed to actual sales sometimes. This week there were some higher listings for the card, which could have pushed that price point a little bit. The same was true for this next one, Mox Emerald from Unlimited, of course, on the reserve list. It goes up $270 to $2,675. All right, on to our Commander Spotlight. A lot of cards going up in value, so I'm going to try to go pretty quick through this. Sen Triplets, classic Commander card, creeping up again, up $1.01 this week to $64.99. Pact of Negation for Modern Masters, up $1.02 to $18.99. Huge Commander card, sees play in competitive Commander decks like Sushi Hulk. Also sees Modern play, Amulet Titan, Neobrand, Ad Nauseam, sometimes Titan Field as well, and sees Legacy play too. Food Chain up $1.09 to $46.12. Classic combo card in Commander. You could combo this with something like Squee the Immortal, for example. And this also sees a little Legacy play. Necropotence from Ice Age, the original, up $1.13 to $19.62. Now this does see some vintage play, but it is a huge Commander card. It did see increased play too when Carrickson of Yawgmoth came out. And this was one of the cards mentioned on that Command Zone favorite Commander cards episode. Crystal Shard up $1.15 to $6.24 from Mirrodin. This did get a mystery booster reprint, still going up in value though. Plays well with those new Titans and Theros Beyond Death, so that's part of the reason, especially Uro, because of course the color identities here will match. But there's another reason this is going up this week. Ikoria Commander deck names were released, and one of them was called Arcane Maelstrom. Is it possible that Maelstrom Wanderer could be seeing a reprint there? If so, this is a card that is usually in those builds. Furnace of Wrath. Now, this is one of the hard to find weird copies of the card. This is from Duels of the Planeswalkers, and it just dried up this week. It goes up $1.25 to $4.75. It has seen increased Commander play recently, which is why I did include it here. Many times it's in Torbrand, Thane of Redfell builds, or Clothes, God of Destiny builds. Greater Oromancy. This goes up $1.29 to $34.46. Of course, this was pushed by Theros Beyond Death enchantments and cards that care about enchantments. This is also a Shadowmoor rare, though, so I'll quickly use my one per video. This was the time period of Magic where print runs were down, there was a recession in the game, less packs were being cracked, so sometimes these rares, if people are looking for them, can get a little spiky. As promised earlier, here's Dark Confidant for Modern Masters going up in value. This goes up $1.36 to $49.70. Thespian's Stage from Commander 2019, it goes up $1.45 to $4.64. This is a huge Commander card, but also sees play in Pioneer. Lotus Breach, which is pretty popular right now, typically runs 4 copies. And it sees a good amount of Legacy play too. Velcut the Molten Pinnacle goes up $1.46 to $21. Granted, maybe more of a modern card actually. Amulet Titan, Titan Field, Titan Shift, and more decks play it there. But with Purphoros God of the Forge being reprinted in a secret layer drop, I figured that could be a reason for some Commander players to be interested in it this week. Ad Nauseam up $1.48 to $16.52 sees increased Commander play now with Thassa's Oracle, and that does include in Sushi Hulk builds. This also sees Modern play too. Ad Nauseam decks there, of course, run this, but also now are running Thassa's Oracle, and this sees play in Legacy, Tendril Storm as well. Survival of the Fittest. Now, this is on the reserve list, but it did get a reprinting as a Judge promo before they closed the loophole on the reserve list. It goes up $1.54 to $85.67, and this is a great vintage card, of course, in survival builds, and this is a good Commander card, which sometimes can show up in Sushi Hulk. Force of Will Alliances up $1.33 to $92.13. Eternal Masters up $1.64 to $110.09. This is a great vintage card, great legacy card, but it is a huge Commander card as well. Great in competitive decks, which could include, but not limited to, Sushi Hulk. Doomsday from 6th edition goes up $1.67 to $7.97, and yup, another card that is seeing increased Commander play because of Thassa's Oracle. In Legacy, this is in Sultai Doomsday decks, also with Thassa's Oracle. Urza Lord High Artificer up $1.73 to $34.99. So this one got a push not too long ago when Emery Lurker of the Lock came out, but it didn't need much of a push. This has been a huge Commander card ever since it came out, but it could be Modern that's pushing the value of this more than anything this week. Urza builds are still performing really well in the format, and it's seeing some Legacy play too. Cloudstone Curio up $1.75 to $27.86. Known for being in Animar builds, but really newer cards are pushing this one currently. Chulane Teller of Tales and Yurok the Desecrated. Double Ink Season from Ravnica City of Guilds. It goes up $1.81 to $53.99. This is a huge commander card. It has been hot recently, in part because of the reprinting of Reese the Redeemed and Mystery Boosters, but the reason it's going up this much this week, it was another card mentioned in that Command Zone Favorite Cards video. Scroll Rack, classic commander card here. It goes up $1.84 to $62.70. This has seen a little increased play recently too with Elsha of the Infinite. Erratic Portal up $1.88 to $7.95, really going up because of the same reasons Crystal Shard is going up. Dockside Extortionist up $2.07 to $22.98, playing well with some newer cards, including Corvold Faker's King, but ultimately this was a good commander card ever since it came out. This was also mentioned in one of the Professor's videos this week. He did one talking about the best red commander cards. Sliver Queen up $2.11 to $109.52. This is on the reserve list. This card did calm down for a little bit, but recently with Kaleidoscope Killers coming out reprinting Sliver Overlord, it did get a lot more people interested in building around the slivers again in Commander. Power Artifact on the reserve list up $2.54 to $142.54. Here's that card I mentioned earlier that combos very well with Grim Monolith. Kineo Sentiro of Miletus. This goes up $2.75 to $12.75. This can only be found in foil. It's a good group hug card and sees a fair amount of play in that capacity, but recently it has had more attention on it because it just themes well with the new Theros cards. Next is Tarnished Citadel. This goes up $3.98 to $18.99. This does see some commander play and can be found sometimes in Sushi Hulk decks. One reason this card has been spiking is that it's been drying up in the marketplace and has yet to see a reprint. Maybe it gets a reprinting as a foil in Mystery Boosters. Perhaps this does look like the type of card they appear to be targeting. Transmute Artifact on the reserve list up $4.56 to $149.38. Classic commander card here and has seen increased play since Urza and Emery have been around. Selvala, Heart of the Wilds. Wow. This goes up $5.69 this week to $54.90. This actually got reprinted in Mystery Boosters, still going up quite a bit. Why is that? Well, it's popular in big mana decks, and of course with Nyx Bloom Ancient coming out recently, a lot of people have been trying to build those type of decks. But also this was mentioned in one of the Professor's videos this week talking about competitive commander. Thrasios, Triton Hero. This is only found in foil. It goes up $6.49 to $29.95. So on one hand, you have casual players that might put this in a Commander Merfolk deck. On the other hand, you have competitive players that are using this as a partner commander alongside Timna the Weaver to build that notorious competitive Sushi Hulk deck. This was also mentioned in that same video by the Professor talking about competitive commander this week. Reap is another card you might find in Sushi Hulk. It goes up $7 to $9.99, but I think the main reason it's going up this particular week is again that same episode of the Command Zone podcast where they discuss their favorite cards. Scourge of the Throne up $7.82 to $33.73. This card has been pretty hot recently, ever since the Ur-Dragon reprint and Kaleidoscope Killers. But again, the reason it's moving this much right now is this is another card mentioned in that Command Zone video. On to the Pauper Spotlight. First we have Pyroblast from Eternal Masters. It goes up 10 cents to $3.94. This is in quite a few builds in the format: Tron, Scred Fairies, Affinity, but this also does see Legacy and Vintage play too. Ancestral Mask from Eternal Masters. It goes up 22 cents to $2.43, a card that's been reprinted in Mystery Boosters as well. You'll find this in hexproof builds in the format, but it has seen increased commander play recently too with Citizen Champion and some of the other cards from Theros Beyond Death. We haven't seen it for a while. The Black Lotus of Pauper is back. Oubliette. Now, this is what they call the A variation of the card. If you look at the casting cost, the one is really light up there. This copy goes up $1.11 this week to $26.46. This sees play in Mono Black Control, and Wizards did tell us a reprint was coming at some point. Still going up in value, though, this week. On to the Premium Spotlight. I'll give my quick disclaimer, as I always do. I don't like to talk too much about rare promos or foil cards because if you don't have enough sales on a particular card online in any given week, you do get some weird data. That data can sometimes be skewed or, worse yet, manipulated. But if I can find a card that is moving naturally with the market, I will go ahead and let you know about it. This week, it's the foil copy of Swarmyard. This goes up $9.78 to $41.69. Alright, that concludes the Market Watch for this week. As always, hey, thanks for watching and joining me on this journey. Until next time, though, hey, thanks for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe, and have a great day. Hey, thanks for watching. This video is made possible through the generous support of viewers like you on Patreon. Check out the description below for links to our Patreon page as well as our Amazon affiliate store, where a small percentage of all sales will also help support the channel. Finally, if you haven't had a chance yet to subscribe, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the new videos on Heroes and Legends. Talk to you again soon, and have a great day.